Hey guys, welcome to the 2022 Year 7 Fractions topic test. First question asks us to simplify these fractions. So 30 and 55, the highest common factor is 5. So we do 30 divided by 5 is 6. 55 divided by 5 is 11. 6 over 11 is the final answer. 54 and 84, the highest common factor is 6. So 54 divided by 6 is 9. 84 divided by 6 is 14. If you didn't know that the highest common factor was 6, and instead you divided by 2 first, and then divided by 3 second, you would still get the same answer. Question 2 deals with equivalent fractions. So how does 6 become 48? We multiply by 8. So we do the same thing to the numerator. 5 times 8 equals 40. So the missing number is 40. Similarly for B, how does 24 become 3? We divide by 8. So we do the same thing to the denominator. 64 divided by 8 is 8. So the final answer is 3 over 8. Convert the following improper fractions to mixed numerals. 49 divided by 4 is 12 remainder 1. So 12 is the whole number. 1 is the numerator. And the denominator stays the same, which is 4. 12 and 1/4 is the final answer. Question B is very similar. 161 divided by 13 is 12 remainder 5. You might need to do an algorithm for this, which you can do if you need to. So 12 is the whole number, 5 is the numerator, denominator stays the same, and it's 13. Question 4 is conversions. So we start from the denominator and work clockwise. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Numerator is 17, denominator stays the same. Final answer, 17 over 5. Question B, once again, we start from the denominator. 12 times 11 is 132, plus 5 is 137. Denominator stays the same, so 137 over 12. Question 5, we use equivalent fractions. We want both the numbers to have the same denominator. So 2/3 does not have the same denominator as 5/12. So we're going to change 2 over 3 to 8 over 12. And once we do that, we just have to compare the numerators. And we can see that 5 is smaller than 8. So the arrow points to the 5. Second question, we need to convert both of them. So 1 over 12 becomes 7 over 84. We multiply both numerator and denominator by 7. 1 over 7 becomes 12 over 84. We're multiplying both numerator and denominator by 12. Once we get that, we can see 7 is smaller than 12. So 1 over 12 is the smaller number. Third question, we're going to multiply numerator and denominator of 25 over 15 by 2. That gives us 50 over 30. On the right hand side, 10 over 6 is going to get multiplied by 5 for numerator and denominator. That gives us 50 over 30. That's the same number, so we put an equal sign in there. For question D, this looks complicated, but I don't even need to solve this question. You can see the number on the left is a number smaller than 1 because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. And the number on the right is a number bigger than 1 because it's 1.5. So automatically, the fraction on the left is going to be smaller. So my arrow just points that way. I need to convert both of these. The first one, I multiply numerator and denominator by 2. So it becomes 10 over 24. And the second one, I multiply both by 3. So it becomes 9 over 24. And you can see 9 is smaller. So my arrow points to 3 over 8. Question E. For question 6, I need to have all my fractions using the same denominator. So for this one, I'm going to use a denominator of 12 because it works for all of them. So the first two fractions remain the same. The third one, 3/4 is 9 over 12. 5 over 6 is 10 over 12. 1 over 2 is 6 over 12. And 1 and 1/6, I'm just going to make an improper fraction as well. That's 14 over 12. And the reason I did that is that now all I have to do is compare the numerators, which is nice and easy. It's ascending, so I start with the smallest one, which is 3 over 12. Then I move on to 6 over 12, 9 over 12, 10 over 12, 13 over 12, and finally 14 over 12. However, when I answer it, I cannot use those figures. I need to use the original numbers that were given in the question. So when I put my answers in order, I need to write 3 over 12 first, 1 over 2 second, don't write 6 over 12. Then I write 3 over 4, not 9 over 12, you must write 3 over 4. Then 5 over 6, 13 over 12, and 1 and 1/6. Question 7 says to evaluate the following answers and leaving your answers as mixed numerals where appropriate. So we have to do two things there. We need to answer these questions, and any time that we can write an answer as a mixed numeral, we need to do so. So first question, denominators are the same, so the denominator remains 17. 2 plus 6 is 8, so that is 8 over 17. That's it. Question B, denominators are the same, so that stays as 12. 5 take away 1 is 4, so that's 4 over 12, but that can be simplified. So we divide numerator and denominator by 4, and that gives us 1 over 3. Question C, the denominators are not the same, so we need to change 1 over 3 to be 2 over 6. Now we can add the numerators together, so it becomes 7 over 6. However, we need to write this as a mixed numeral, so 7 over 6 is 1 and 1/6. Question D, we need to change both fractions. So 6 over 7, I'm going to multiply by 3 over 3. And 2 over 3, I'm going to multiply by 7 over 7. That gives me 18 over 21 minus 14 over 21. Now that the denominators are the same, I just do 18 minus 14. That gives me 4 over 21 as my final answer. Question E, we need to make the denominators the same. This time I'm going to use 24. So I'm going to do 7 over 8, both of them times 3. And 5 over 6, both of them will be multiplied by 4. That gives me 21 over 24 plus 20 over 24, which is 41 over 24, or 1 and 17th over 24. Question F, 5 minus 3 over 7. We learned how to do this. You do 7 minus 3 and you get 4 parts left. So the fraction is going to be 4 over 7. And it's 5 minus a little bit, so it's just going to be 1 less than 5. So final answer is 4 and 4 over 7. Question G, we add the whole numbers together. 2 plus 1 is 3. Then we add the fractions together. So a quarter becomes 3 over 12, and 5/6 becomes 10 over 12. That gives me 3 and 13 over 12. However, you can't have a mixed numeral that involves an improper fraction, so I need to change 13 over 12 to 1 and 1/12. So 3 plus 1 is 4. It gives me 4 and 1 over 12. Question H, subtraction. We do 4 minus 3, that's 1. Then we need to subtract the fractions. 1 over 3 becomes 5 over 15. 1 over 5 becomes 3 over 15. So we do 5 over 15 minus 3 over 15. That gets me 2 over 15. Put both of those things together, and it's 1 and 2 over 15. Question 8, multiplication. You multiply the numerators. 2 times 3 is 6. Multiply the denominators. 7 times 5 is 35. Question B, if you want to simplify first, you can. Otherwise, you can do 2 times 1 is 2. 9 times 4 is 36. Then we simplify by halving both of those, and it becomes 1 over 18. For question C, we're going to use KCF. So we keep the 5 over 9, change the division to a multiplication, and flip 3 over 2 to 2 over 3. Now we have a multiplication. 5 times 2 is 10. 9 times 3 is 27. So final answer is 10 over 27. Question D is another division question. So we want to use KCF. So I'm going to change 5 into 5 over 1 so that I can use KCF. So 2 over 3, I keep it. Division, I change it to a multiplication. And 5 over 1, I flip to 1 over 5. Now I do 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 5 is 15. Question D. In order to do multiplication of mixed numerals, we need to change them to improper fractions. So 1 and 3/5 becomes 8 over 5. 2 and 1/3 becomes 7 over 3. Then I do 8 times 7 is 56. 5 times 3 is 15. That's it. You can leave it like that. Unless the question asks for a mixed numeral, then you need to do 56 divided by 15 is 3 remainder 11. So the answer is 3 and 11 over 15. Question E is division of mixed numerals. So you need to convert them to improper fractions. 5 and a half becomes 11 over 2. 1 and 1/3 becomes 4 over 3. Now you can use KCF. 11 over 2, we keep it. Division, we change it to times. 4 over 3, we flip it to 3 over 4. Now I can multiply. 11 times 3 is 33. 2 times 4 is 8. 33 divided by 8 is 4 remainder 1. So final answer is 4 and 1/8. For question 9, the word of means times. So that's 3 over 4 times 48. I want to make 48 a fraction so I can do my multiplication. So I make it 48 over 1. You can simplify first, or you can simplify at the end. If you simplify first, then you can do 48 over 4, which is 12 over 1. Then it becomes 3 times 12, which is 36. 1 times 1, which is 1. 36 over 1 is just 36. So 36 liters is your final answer. Second question, we need to convert 12 and a half to an improper fraction. So that's 25 over 2. Then I can simplify first. So I'm going to cancel the 2's. That's simply 25 over 9. Change that back to a mixed numeral. And that's 2 remainder 7. So 2 and 7/9 of a centimeter. Question 10 says, express the first quantity as a fraction of the second. So you just put the first number over the second number as long as the units are the same. So for the first question they are. So we write 180 over 300. We need to simplify that so we can cross out 1 0 each. That's like dividing by 10. We get 18 over 30, which we can divide both by 6. And that gives us 3 over 5 as our simplified answer. For the second question, they're not both the same units, so we need to convert them to the same units. 3 kilos is 3,000 grams, so we can write 200 over 3,000. Now we cancel out 2 zeros each, that's like dividing by 100. And we get 2 over 30. We can simplify that, divide by 2, divide by 2. That gives us 1 over 15. Question 11, 2/3 of the students in 7C prefer to have their topic test next Monday. If there are 21 students, how many prefer to have their topic test next Monday? So that's 2/3 of 21. That's a multiplication. So we write 2/3 times 21. Simplify 21 over 3, which is 7 over 1. And then we do 2 times 7 is 14. 1 times 1 is 1. Final answer, 14 students. Question 12. Omid has invited his friends over for lunch. There are 6 pizzas to share. If his friends have finished 3 3/8 of the pizzas, how many remain? That's a subtraction, so we write 6 minus 3 3/8. We do subtraction of the whole numbers, and we leave the fraction. So 6 minus 3 is 3. We still need to take away the 3/8. 3 minus 3/8. We've done this type of question before. That becomes 2 and 5/8. 5 because 8 minus the numerator is 5. Question B. If 4 of Omid's family members shared the remaining pizza equally amongst each other, how many pizzas did each person have? So we firstly start off with how many pizzas are remaining, which is 2 and 5/8. Then sharing means division, so we divide. And there's 4 people, so we divide by 4. 2 and 5/8 divided by 4. We want to use KCF, so I changed 2 and 5/8 to a improper fraction. That's 21 over 8. I keep that. I change division to multiplication, and I flip my 4 to 1 over 4. And now I can do my multiplication. 21 times 1 is 21. 8 times 4 is 32. That's it. 21 over 32. Question 13. Sam spends 7/8 of his weekly pay on expenses such as food, rent, and petrol, and he saves the rest. If Sam earns $1,280 a week, how much money does he save? Well, if he spends 7/8, that means he saves 1/8. So he saves 1/8 of 1280. Of means times. So 1/8 times 1280. That becomes 1280 over 8. You can do an algorithm for that division, or you can simplify slowly by halving and halving a few times. If you do a division algorithm, you do 12 divided by 8, which is 1, remainder 4. 48 divided by 8 is 6, remainder 0. And 0 divided by 8 is 0. So you get 160 straight away. If you halve it, you will get 640 over 4. Then you'll get 320 over 2. And finally, you'll get 160. Same answer either way. Last question. This one's a little bit confusing. It says, Deanna's grandparents gave her money for her birthday. She spent 2/3 of this money on shoes. After that, she spent $15 on takeaway. If she spent 1/4 of her money on takeaway, how much did her grandparents give her for her birthday? So we need to work backwards. So let's start with the quarter that she's got left after purchasing her shoes. Well, that's $15. So if $15 is a quarter, that means that we need to multiply that by 4 to work out how much she has in total after purchasing her shoes. So that means that she's got $60 in total after purchasing her shoes. But that's not how much money her grandparents gave her, because prior to purchasing her shoes, she spent 2/3 of the money. So that means that the $60 that she has remaining is actually only 1/3 of the money she got altogether. So if $60 is 1/3, then the total that she got right at the start must be 60 times 3, or $180. And that's it. Thank you very much.